Welcome to the Aboriginal Education Centre webinar. The Aboriginal Education Centre acknowledges the traditional custodians of the land in which Federation University's campuses are located. The Gunai Kurnai, Wotjabalik, Jadwa, Jadwa Jali, Wagaya, Japgok, Bunwurrung, Wurundjeri, Muddy Muddy, Barkindji, Turrbal, Jagira and the Wadawurrung people. We pay our respects to elders, past, present and emerging, and extend our respects to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander First Nation peoples. The Aboriginal Education Centre is located for the majority of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander affairs at Federation University. We help support identified Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander students by offering tutorial assistance, if required, providing individual learning plans for students to help keep them on track with their studies, pastoral care, providing advocacy internally and externally to the university, facilitation of involvement with the local Aboriginal community, and direction and advice and information on all our support services internal to the university. There are currently 4 education centres located at Mount Helen, SMB, Wimmera and Churchill. In the interim, please contact our Gippsland or Mount Helen offices for assistance. All of our current staff at the Aboriginal Education Centre are Indigenous. It is essential for these roles to be identified as our staff understand the cultural obstacles and are there to assist and further enhance our students' education and or career aspirations. Our staff are here to advocate and support our students if they are experiencing any of the following: being homesick, transgenerational trauma, cultural isolation, bullying, a need to further enhance their learning abilities, or are needing supporting kinship family obligation responsibilities. The newly established Student Ambassador Program is a program to assist the Aboriginal Education Centre in promoting Federation University programs. It encourages Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples to undertake higher education study by liaising internally and externally with stakeholders and participating in discussions with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities. These include involvement in the Aboriginal Education Centre and university's wider projects and events such as NAIDOC Week, Reconciliation Week, Open Day and our Indigenous Nationals. It's also there to promote and deploy Aboriginal Education Centre and University branding materials, signage and promotional items for the projects, including the transporting and installation of signage and promotional materials. It's also there to promote and deploy project event communication materials for media engagement, websites, social media, brochures and reports. If it's tutoring you're after, our Deadly staff can administer tutorial assistance to our vet and undergraduate Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander students. We ensure our tutors are respectfully suited and are academically capable to meet our students' needs. To be eligible for tutoring, students are required to meet the following criteria: be an Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander person, be enrolled in an undergraduate degree or vet course, have completed a learning plan with our staff at the Aboriginal Education Centre. We also have an eligibility for our tutors, which they must have a minimum of a completed first year tertiary entry-level study in any discipline, whilst demonstrating a competent level of academic achievement and have developed organisational, interpersonal, written and communication skills, and also be willing to undergo cultural awareness training if the need be. Just recently, the university has paired undergraduate course units for students to take while completing their VCE. This way students are prepared before taking the next step into university studies. Areas included are business, health, education, maths, physiology, biology and IT. How it works is that your final score in your advanced studies may result in an additional ATAR increment. Please note, only one higher education study is approved in the VCE and for your ATAR increment. You won't pay or incur any higher education contribution scheme, otherwise known as HECS debt, for any of the university units you do choose to study. However, you may need to factor in textbooks and other costs for learning resources. Successful completion guarantees entry and credit for both subjects in your first year at Federation Uni. Each unit is delivered via flexible online learning alongside an on-campus orientation session and a number of on-campus enriched learning experiences each semester. Students attend an academic preparation program in February before commencing university studies in March. If you'd like to find out more on how to apply, please contact one of the staff at the Aboriginal Education Centre or contact the VCE Enhancement and Engagement Coordinator. At the Aboriginal Education Centre, we are involved in many projects and events internally and externally to the university. We participate in many cultural events, host events with our students, alumni, future students, and our community. We also partake in many community engagement events and partner with Anglican Care Youth Leadership Program. Our centre has strong relationships with the local Indigenous community organisations throughout Victoria. This enables us to strengthen core relationships between the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander community, our students, and the wider university. Involvement with our communities allows for a joint celebration of significant dates, such as Anniversary of the National Apology, NAIDOC Week, Reconciliation Week, and our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Children's Day. Indigenous Nationals, formerly known as the Indigenous University Games, is an annual week-long sports carnival held for our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander students with many other universities across the country. Every year, the location of the Nationals changes and has different universities attend. In 2017, we sent our very first team to the Indigenous Nationals. We will continue to offer this event on an annual basis. The 4 sports we get to participate in are touch football, netball, basketball, and volleyball. To express your interest, please contact one of our Deadly Liaison officers.
Something that made me feel really welcome at the uni is probably when I walked in the student lounge for the first time.
I felt so welcomed. I was met by the Aboriginal Education Officer.
Those friendly faces made it much more easier to settle here at Fed Uni.
It has taken me places that I thought I would never go.
The environment's so positive, it just makes you want to be here.
Everyone's really friendly. If I've got any issues, they're all here to help to make sure our time here at Fed Uni runs as smoothly as possible.
The Aboriginal Education Centre at Fed Uni is very important. And it just takes away that little bit of stress and anxiety that students have got going into uni.
I think the Aboriginal Education Centre is really important out here at Fed Uni in terms it holds a lot of history and a sense of belonging for our people.
They're very friendly and they'd be more than happy to help you and do whatever they can. That's just the kind of friendly people they are.
It's like a big family, really.
I think it's great to have people from your culture who understand it and are able to help, especially in the Aboriginal Centre.
It's good knowing that they're there for you no matter what, and I'm really comfortable there. It's like my second home.
We make it a very home away from home environment and see them get through to employment.
I think one of the important things when I introduce myself to the students is to come across as a friend, just so they know that they've got that support if they need it from me.
I would recommend Fed Uni to my family and friends.
It's a great place to study.
The AEC comprises of 8 staff, which we hope to grow further in the coming years. Our manager across all campuses is Katrina Beer. Our admin assistant across all campuses is Kristen Dennis. In Churchill and Berwick, Nick Johnson is the Aboriginal Education Liaison Officer within the Higher Ed. Out at Mount Helen, we have Luke Bosworth, our Aboriginal Student Success Officer. Out at Berwick, we also have Phil Egan, who's our Aboriginal Student Success Officer. For TAFE, within SMB and the Wimmera, Catherine Clark as our Aboriginal Student Success Officer. Kia Meddings Cooper, Aboriginal Student Success Officer for TAFE and Higher Ed at SMB and Mount Helen. Rihanna Milliken, Aboriginal Student Success Officer in Higher Ed out at Mount Helen. You can contact each of us at either campus. If you'd like to speak with the university staff, you can contact 1800 FED-UNI, that's 1800 333 864, or go to www.federation.edu.au and check out the Aboriginal Education Centre page for more information.